What's up guys, Blake here with VaporAuthority.com, and today I'm going to be showing you guys the highly popular Wismec Reuleaux DNA200. Now before this device, not many people have heard of Wismec. However, once Wismec released this mod, it became basically the highlight of their company. The Reuleaux DNA200 received a lot of hype and a lot of popularity, but the design and the performance of the mod was sure to back it. Now just to give you guys a rundown on the DNA200, this is what we're looking at. Now the first thing we need to note is that this device is very unique. In fact, it has a 3 battery design allowing you to insert 3 18650 batteries. It features a brightly lit 0.91 inch OLED screen. It's got a 510 threaded connection, a fire button, 2 adjustment buttons, and a micro USB port, which will allow you to upgrade the device in the future. And if that doesn't get you excited guys, you'll be also thrilled to know this device can run up to 200 watts. That's right guys, this device will allow you to soar up to 200 watts and you can power nearly any attachment that you put on it. But what's even more fascinating is that it comes with temperature control functionality, meaning you can range from 200 degrees all the way up to 600 degrees. And you can use this with wires like nickel 200 and stainless steel. However, there's also a well-defined temperature coefficient of resistance, which allows you to use other custom wire types. And then there's something that's also very interesting about the Reuleaux DNA200, which is the software called Escribe. Now this Escribe software is specifically designed for the DNA200 chipset. And on this software, you can do many things to customize your device, such as change your screen, input different values for your device, and there are a slew of different detailed features that let you truly customize your vaping experience with the DNA200 chipset. So without further ado guys, we're going to dive down and take a closer look at the Reuleaux DNA200, and then we're going to show you the Escribe software, and we'll then take it up to some FaceTime. Alright guys, you are looking at the packaging for the Wismec Reuleaux DNA200. As you can see at the top, it says Wismec, then you have an outlining of the Reuleaux DNA200, and then towards the bottom you see that it says Reuleaux 200 watts and powered by Evolv DNA200. Then on one side it says the same thing, the other side says the same thing as well. And then on the back, it says Reuleaux 200 watts. It then shares some information about the device. And then it tells you the standard configuration, which is basically what's in this box. And that is the Reuleaux body, the back cover, and the USB cable. Now let's open the box up. The first thing you'll see is the Reuleaux DNA200 body. Let's pull the device out the box. Now normally there would be a user manual here, but I've somehow misplaced that user manual. However, you'll then see a foam padding and you'll want to pull that up. The first thing you'll see here is a Reuleaux 200 watt quick guide. And this quick guide will give you some information about the Reuleaux DNA200 as well as showing some of its functionality. So when you first receive the Reuleaux DNA200, I highly advise reading over this quick guide. The next thing you'll see is a caution card, and then you're left with a USB cable that will allow you to charge your device and upgrade its firmware. Now let's look at the Reuleaux DNA200 itself. Now starting from the top, you see the Reuleaux logo, and then we have a 510 threaded connection, which happens to have a spring-loaded center pin. On one side of the device, we have 3 ventilation holes here, and the other side has 3 ventilation holes as well. Towards the front of the device, you have the fire button here, which has the engraved Jabo name. You have an OLED screen here, 2 adjustment buttons, and the micro USB port. As you can see on the bottom, there are ventilation holes here at the top and at the bottom. And then it also includes the Reuleaux logo, the Reuleaux name, and it also says manufactured by Wismec. Now towards the back of the device is where the magnetic battery door actually rests. As you can see here, there is an etched in place where you can grab and remove the battery cover. So what you want to do is stick your thumbnail in that spot and pull the magnetic battery door. Now, when you remove that cover, you expose the battery compartment. And as you can see, the battery compartment holds 3 18650 batteries. You have 2 towards the back and 1 in the front. Now, once you insert those batteries, your device will run through a series of welcome screens, and then it will take you to the main screen. As you can see, it has a bright screen, and you can adjust that wattage by simply pressing down or up on the adjustment buttons. Now what's really cool about the DNA200 chipset is that you can customize this chipset in a matter of many ways. So for an example, when I don't have an atomizer attached, when I press the fire button, I set the screen to say check Addy. Now normally it would say check atomizer, but it would look a lot different. And that brings us to how we actually can lock this device. With the Escribe software, you can change how many clicks it takes to get your device locked and unlocked. And you can even change the screen that it uses for locking. So for an example, when I click my fire button down 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and then you can see I also changed the lock screen. Now I know that's not the nicest thing, but it gets my attention. And if you have a sense of humor like I do, then you might think it's hilarious. Now with the Reuleaux DNA200, there are a slew of features and functionalities that you'll learn to use as you go with this device. Since there are so many features with the DNA200 chip, it's a bit difficult to learn all of them at once. However, that quick start guide will get you going in a matter of minutes with the basic functionality of the DNA200. I would like to point out that you can range from 1 watt and all the way up to 200 watts. Now, if you'll notice, it's changing in 0.5 increments for my DNA200 device. And the reason why it's changing like that is because I set it in Escribe. That's just another thing that you can change or customize about the DNA200 chip. Now, if you lock your device, 1, 2, 3, you hold these 2 adjustment buttons, and then you'll see that it says off. Now, if you scroll down, you can go into temperature control, and this is basically where you adjust your temperature control. You can adjust going in Fahrenheit, take it all the way back up to 600 degrees. And then it also goes to off after the 600. So if you have it in off and you press the fire button, you're back in wattage. Holding the fire button and the right adjustment button down will allow you to lock your resistance. Holding the fire button down and your left adjustment button will allow you to go from normal mode to stealth mode. While your device is unlocked, if you press both the adjustment buttons, hold them down, it'll lock your device. Now, if you want to reach your profiles, which you can customize in Escribe, then you need to hold these adjustment buttons down. Now, you just double click here and you get to your profiles. Now, as I mentioned, there are plenty of different features with this device. And basically it's gonna, result in you playing around with it and learning more about this device, because there's a lot more than I can lay out to you here in this one video. Alright guys, you are looking at the Escribe software. Up here at the top it says File, Edit, Internet Options, Tools, and Help. And what you can do here on these options is basically you can reboot your device, update firmware. So these are different things that'll go along towards your DNA200 chip. However, there's many features here along the top of the Escribe software, but what we're going to focus today is on these tabs. Now, the Escribe software is very advanced. There's a lot of things to it that make it so in-depth. And with that being said, what we're going to do here today is show you the basics of the Escribe software. So as you can see right now, we're on this general tab, and it basically gives you a rundown of your different profiles, allowing you to customize different profiles based on what wire type you're using. So for an example, I have one profile here for stainless steel wire. This place right here allows you to add a custom screen. So if I wanted a custom screen to come up when I'm in stainless steel mode, and then I can have a screen that says stainless steel or something like that. Now here in the settings, you see where it says power 50 watts, the temperature is 450 degrees. It's just different settings that you can customize for that particular wire type that you're using. You can even go down here and change the preheat power, whether the preheat punch is soft or hard, and you can do that for many different profiles. You can set it up for a specific coil, a specific build you made. So there's many options to do there as far as the customization for your coils. Now the theme section is what I like the most, and mainly because I can just play around with my device and truly customize the way it looks. Now as you can see here, we have a welcome primary and a welcome secondary. Now normally the secondary, there's nothing on the secondary, but you can go on the Escribe software and you can change the screen for your primary welcome screen. Then you can make a screen for your secondary welcome screen. You can choose how long that screen shows here. And instead of normal screens here like this, as you can see, the locked click 5 times. I got where it says lock dumbass, and instead of me having to click it 5 times, I just put it to 3 times. So see, you can change this to what you want exactly. The Escribe software is super in-depth, so I believe if you get the Reuleaux DNA200, this is one of the options that you'll like the most. Now on the screen tab, this is basically where you can change different aspects of your device. So for an example, the display, you can change the orientation from left to right. Down here in the fields department, even though I highly advise you not to mess with this too much, because there's certain things that you need to see on your screen, of course. But if you didn't want to have the ohms on there, you can go down here and change it to something else. For example, this can tell you your board temperature, your puff count, your current, and then many other options that you can choose. And down here we have the brightness, where you can change the brightness of your screen. And then here on the mod tab, you can change different aspects as far as your battery and the electrical, the mechanical, and thermal of the chip. Now I don't know too much about this area, and I've always lived by one rule: if you don't know enough about it, don't mess with it. Don't fix what isn't broke. So guys, let this be a lesson to you. If you don't know what you're doing here in this area, do not change it. Read up about it and learn about it before you go messing around with this Escribe software. Now this research tab, I'm thinking with this experimental setup, you can make different setups with different limitations. And that's basically the basics of the Escribe software. Guys, this Escribe software, it can get really advanced and you can mess some things up. So make sure that you learn a little bit about this Escribe software, but also play around with it so that you can learn it yourself. However, there are tutorials provided by Evolv if you want to learn more about Escribe. Alright guys, you just got an up close look at the Reuleaux DNA200. As you've seen, it's got plenty of features, it's got plenty of power, and it's got plenty of battery life. And then there's also the Escribe software that really adds as a bonus for this device. So the true question with the Reuleaux DNA200 isn't if the device can handle you, but can you handle the device? But that's highly unlikely. So guys, let's see how well the Reuleaux DNA200 performs. Now, just to give you some information on what I'm vaping on Circuit e-liquid, which has a 70% VG ratio. I'm using a sub-tank mini on the Reuleaux, and I have a 0.5 OCC vertical coil. And the Reuleaux DNA200 is set at 38 watts. Alright guys, so you've got some information about the Reuleaux DNA200. You've seen it up close, you've seen the software, you know that it's got a 3 battery design that'll give you plenty of battery life, and you also know that it'll go up to 200 watts and offer you temperature control functionality. But best of all, you've seen that it'll provide a great vapor production and great performance overall. And guys, if you want to pick up the highly unique Reuleaux DNA200 by Wismec, then you can go to VaporAuthority.com. As always guys, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, vape on. All right.